Okay.
Brandon Lofton, thanks for coming to the GCAA today. Tell us who you are, why you're running for office, and where District 104 is.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. Brandon Lofton, running for House District 104 in South Charlotte, which stretches across from Presbyterian Hospital on down through Old Providence area. And I am a husband, a father, a lawyer, and I'm running to help increase support for education, increase more balance in our government, help lower healthcare costs in our state.
Great. Well, we represent the multifamily industry.
Yes.
And we have a lot of multifamily residents here in Charlotte.
Yes.
So as you're running for office, you're seeing all these new great apartment buildings going up,
Yes.
and you see a lot of the old great apartment buildings that are still around. How do apartment residents work into what you want to do in Raleigh?
Well, I think multifamily housing is going to be critical as we continue to grow. I mean, as you know, we're growing at a rate of about 60 people every day. And we're seeing some of that great development happen along South Boulevard and also other parts of all over our city. So as we continue to invest in our future growth, I think keeping prices affordable, keeping housing options available in our city is going to be critical for our growth as a city. So that's something that I want to take a close look at, see what we can do as a state to better support affordability and manage growth here in our Charlotte area.
So you're running for office, which means you got a couple of big issues that you want to get in and affect change on. What are your top 2 or 3 issues that you're really focusing on this campaign?
Well, the top 3 for me are education, increasing support for our teachers, so we're attracting and keeping the best teachers. That's really going to be critical to not only helping the people who are here get access to the opportunities that they need, but it'll also help our city and our state be more competitive and competing for opportunities of the future. So I think we all have benefited from the fact that our community is growing. Part of the reason why we're growing is because we're an attractive place to live. If we want to remain an attractive place to live, we have to offer high quality schools with great teachers and a talented workforce that attracts businesses and opportunities here. That's one thing. Second thing is we're paying too much in healthcare costs right now. So we're paying on average in North Carolina 7% higher healthcare rate because we haven't increased access to the people who need it. So even though we're paying for Medicaid expansion, we haven't chosen to do it here, and that's driving up costs for all of us. And that impacts people on a number of levels. As you know, one of the biggest causes for bankruptcy issues are medical expenses. So we can help and cover the people who need the coverage, then we can reduce the financial impact on families and also lower evictions and impacts on housing as well. And then finally, we need to increase our balance in our politics in Raleigh. So right now we have an imbalance in power, and I think it's resulting in policies that are bad for the future of our city and our state. And if we had a little bit more balance, if we didn't have a veto-proof majority in Raleigh, I think we would have more attention on investing in our infrastructure and things that we need to do now to make sure that we're positioning our city and our state for success in the future.
So I read your resume. Very qualified individual. What are some of the things that are in your background that are going to help you when you take this elected office to really understand Charlotte and understand the issues that are going around here?
Sure. So I'm a transactional lawyer. What I do is I represent my client, and the lawyer for the other side represents their client, but we're both working towards the same goal. And so I think that's the kind of approach we need to have in Raleigh, which is, yes, I'll represent my side and you may disagree with me, but we're still trying to get to what's best for our state. I think that's the mentality and approach we need to have in Raleigh. I also have a history of being involved here in this community. I was president of the board for the Council for Children's Rights. I served in a number of task forces here in our community for Housing Advisory Board, for transit funding, and for our small business advisory group for the city of Charlotte. In all of those areas, we brought together people from different backgrounds, different perspectives, particularly in the small business task force. We had general contractors, subcontractors, and the city of Charlotte all at the table, all of different viewpoints about the best way to structure that program. And I tried to do my best to hear from all sides and decide what would make sense, what would be workable, instead of having an adversarial approach, more of a collegial, collaborative approach. Yes, we're going to disagree on some finer points, but I think if we're all give a little and try to go towards that goal, I think we come up with a better program and better policies for our city and our state.
Well, great. You probably have a website.
I do.
And you probably want to share that if people want to get information from you or get in contact with you and learn more about your campaign.
Sure. It's loftonfornc.com, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.